Antonio, Texas, as we bring you an interconference rivalry here at the AT&T Center. 2K Sports is proud to present NBA basketball. Alongside Steve Kerr and Clark Kellogg, this is Kevin Harlan. So the opening lineup for the Heat, Chalmers and D. Wade are the guards. Nick Roberts at the 4 with Bosch at center. And it's Dang in at the 3 slot. Now here's Chalmers. The baseline J. That one off the back iron and out.
Well, Mario Chalmers coming into last season made a bet with Ray Allen about how much each could slim down and get in peak shape. It seemed to pay dividends for Chalmers in particular, who had probably the best season of his NBA career.
Green against Chalmers. Leonard sets a screen for Green. 4 on the clock. The rebound by Nick Roberts.
That's a shot he's got to hit. You don't get too many better looks from that range. Well, he had that height separation there on the mid-range jump shot. Really good job of taking advantage of that.
And Chalmers really not the quickest point guard in the league, but he has active hands defensively and pretty good feet. Those takeaways help get the Heat out in the open court, which certainly plays to their strengths.
Now here's Parker after Dwayne Wade's miss. Parker outside. Duncan with the screen for Green. That's tipped. Parker against Chalmers. The dish now to Wade. Right at the free throw line, and he hits the jump shot. And Chalmers, more of a role player for the Heat. Not a huge playmaker, Steve, but he can knock down open threes.
Yeah, he's an efficient scorer, and his passing has gotten better over the last couple of seasons. He's a perfect role player for Miami because he can guard opposing point guards extremely well and then slide off the ball when Wade has it.
Now, here's Chalmers. He dishes it to Bosch. The drive by Wade. Can't connect from 13 feet out.
And it is very dangerous to leave him open like that. Lucky break for the defense that he missed it.
Parker outside. Kicks it to Green. Duncan with a screen on Deng. Here's Green. The shot is off, and it's Miami the other way. All right, let's go over to the sideline with Doris Burke.
Kevin, earlier I had a chance to speak with Greg Popovich. One player he said they can't overlook is Chris Bosch. He said Bosch is the perfect complementary scorer. He can hit the spot up Jay and also really crash the offensive boards. We simply can't get so caught up elsewhere that we allow him to have a big night. And Kevin, at 6'11", Bosch really an anchor in that front court. When he plays well, they're tough to beat.
Thanks again, Doris. And here is Green. After the 3 moments ago from Luol Deng. Parker with a clean look. Once again off the mark by San Antonio. Miami leading by 3.
Well, 2 seasons ago, the Heat were rolling. They won a franchise record 66 games. 27 of those came consecutively. Last season, they managed the regular season. They knew they had to pace themselves in an effort to try to win a 3rd straight championship.
The drive by Green. And they're going to count the bucket and send him to the line. It could be a 3-point play.
Boy, just battled through that initial impact and somehow willed it in.
Excellent concentration. That's what you like to see.
Boris Diaz checked in for San Antonio. Ginobili comes in for Leonard. The Heat also changing it up. Anderson comes in for Chris Bosh. And Cole subbed in for Mario Chalmers. And last season, I'd say, guys, the Heat more or less just conceded that #1 seed to the Pacers.
Yeah, almost like a marathon runner. You know, they just didn't want to burn out early, so they just kind of found their pace throughout the season. And they weren't worried too much about the home seed. They were concerned more with their own health. And I thought Eric Spoelstra handled all of those dynamics perfectly.
His touch has disappeared on him this quarter. He just hasn't been able to get it going.
That one goes. Count it.
Well, you just can't give them that kind of position in the post.
I tell you what, when he gets it in that tight, he's going to bury those.
And Cole kicks to Deng. 11 feet away, and he hits the jump shot. Tang's got his second basket of the night. The Spurs have gone 3 of 7 from the field since we've gotten underway. And the pass to Green. Back to Parker. In low to Duncan. No luck.
Great defense in the paint there, making it tough on the offense.
That's what he brings, a presence. I mean, you saw it on that miss.
Here's Cole. Still getting warmed up offensively. No buckets yet in the game for him. Shot clock at 6. It's stolen by Duncan. Parker kicks to Ginobili. Diaw, the screen. Parker drives in. The timely screen gave him a step, and he took it all the way.
Ran his man straight into that screen to open the lane up for the hoop.
Wade kicks to Cole. Wade, a screen on Parker. Cole's shot is good.
How about that screen by D. Wade?
We've got a 9-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Now here's Ginobili. 20 seconds left in the first quarter of the game. Parker with a clean look. That falls. Nice feed that time for Manu Ginobili.
He's such a well-rounded offensive player. He's got a little bit of everything.
Here's Cole. Anderson, a screen on Parker. It's stolen by Green. From half court. And still a close game as the first quarter comes to a close. Spurs lead by 2. Live from the AT&T Center in San Antonio, you're watching 2K Sports. Well, it's been a tight one so far as we get the second quarter going back here. And taking a look at San Antonio's performance here, Clark and Steve. What have they been doing or not doing?
I was impressed with their transition game, guys. They really got out and ran the lanes.
Yeah, they did. I mean, no better way to get easy buckets than through fast breaks.
San Antonio leading.
You know, the Spurs, because of their way of conducting business and their low-key personality, have never really been ratings darlings for the NBA, despite being considered and respected as a model franchise in the league. The team's color of silver and black, I think, fits their style. It's not really flashy or gaudy, but it does point out their business-like approach and how precise they play and how much they win.
All fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset the lineups courtesy of Gatorade as the second quarter gets going. And for Miami, look at who they've got out there. Haslam and Bosh up front. Napier is out there with Chalmers. And it's Granger in at the 3, the small forward. Just 2 to shoot. And another basket for Miami.
And you look at the Spurs' lack of branding, if you will. It starts from the top down, from Coach Popovich to Tim Duncan. They don't court media attention. They're close to the vest. All business, all about winning.
Here's Mills after Danny Granger's bucket. Now Mills. He's had some playing time, but no scoring yet from him. And that one's good. And the Spurs look for a certain kind of player, Clark. I know you're interested in this. The players they get are uninterested in the spotlight. Pop calls them guys that have gotten over themselves.
That's a great way to phrase it, because they're others focused and not self-focused. And that's something that really lends itself well in a culture which glamorizes the I and not the group. And you can see it in the Spurs. They are all about business, and all of the extra stuff is not what appeals to them. They're interested in winning and having fun and enjoying each other, and that's why they're a championship organization and team.
That's a good blueprint.
Yes, it is.
Here's Napier. Left side Bosch. Now Haslem inside. Shot from the low block. And he can't bank that one in. Spurs leading by 5. Ginobili outside. And a little under 2.5 minutes gone by here in the second quarter. Mills in the corner. Kicks it out to Ginobili. Baseline jumper. Here's Diaw, and it's sent back by Bosch. Here's Napier. He hasn't scored yet. That, I'm sure, will change. Leonard against Haslem. Out to the right wing. It's Bosch with the drive. Misses from close range.
Well, those chances are almost always 2 points for him. I guess the defense did what it had to do to bother him.
Diaw, the screen. Ginobili outside. Passes to Mills. Lots of room. And it hung on the rim, but wouldn't fall for him.
Patty Mills last season had his best season ever. Really remade his body in the offseason, adding muscle, cutting down on his body fat. Already one of the quickest players in the league. He got even quicker.
And so it's San Antonio with it after the Heat pick up 2. Ginobili outside. Pass to Mills. Nice ball movement by San Antonio. Here's Splitter. And he banks in the layup. Splitter's got his first basket of the night. And Miami calls their first time out of the game. Well, going into last season, Tiago Splitter accepting a 4-year, $36 million extension, Steve, from the Spurs.
A lot of people questioned the value of that contract, but Splitter more than earned it with his play throughout the regular season and in the playoffs. He's versatile, he can pass, he can defend, and even though his numbers were down a little bit last year, he made tremendous impact just in terms of their interior play.
Looking at who's out there now for the Spurs. Duncan, he's checked in for Splitter. Bellinelli comes in for Manu Ginobili. And Tony Parker is subbed in for Patty Mills. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up and 2 shots coming up.
And Splitter clearly, when you look at him offensively, is not a floor spacer. He's a guy who's going to finish inside. He's going to set solid screens. Even though he plays close to the basket, his field goal percentage dropped by almost 10% over the last couple of seasons. He was once superb in that area. Now he's just rock solid. But with the Spurs, in his role, rock solid is good enough.
He misses the free throw.
Splitter still shooting over 90% of his shots in the paint, but less effective down low. Injuries perhaps a factor. We'll see if he can bounce back.
And the second free throw, good.
A new look lineup for the Miami Heat this season. The big 3 of LeBron, Wade, and Bosch, and no more. Certainly not what the fans hope for, but we'll see what this team can achieve this season with the new group. They'll be energized a bit. Obviously, they'll miss the brilliance of LeBron, but they'll be hungry to prove they can still get it done.
And Doris Burke has a report for us from the sideline.
Well, Kevin, the Spurs, not necessarily a glamour franchise, but maybe the NBA's model franchise. The longest streak of 50-win seasons in league history, 5 championships, and a litany of former Spurs working as head coaches and GMs around the league. Tim Duncan said people aren't envious of their image, but they're envious of how they run things. They get it done, Kevin.
They sure do. An incredible run. Thanks, Doris. Now here's Parker. Leonard with no one around. That drops, and it comes off an assist from Parker. And for Miami, it wasn't a matter of money or anything. It just seemed that LeBron had accomplished, maybe in his own mind, everything he wanted to.
And they did accomplish a tremendous amount. I mean, 4 trips to the finals consecutive. They won 2 of them, 2 NBA titles. But this is still a very good team with Wade, Bosh, and now Luol Deng leading the charge.
Green is checked in for Kawhi Leonard. And a moment to look at the scoring approach in terms of where the points are coming from for the Spurs.
Well, they're trying to play fast and trying to put the defense on their heels.
You know, another factor in their offense so far has been their ability to convert and score off turnovers.
Now here's Parker. He kicks it to Bellinelli. Back to Parker. All sorts of time. And he can't bank that one in. The Heat trail by 3. And Deng, here we go. And it goes as the official calls the foul. Count it. He'll shoot one more at the free throw line.
Pretty much all of their buckets coming from inside the paint now.
Yeah, that's 5 of their last 6 baskets inside the lane. They have really established themselves inside.
And he'll be shooting his first free throw of the game here.
Quality free throw shooter a year ago, about 79%.
And it's tied up with that one. And San Antonio shooting 33% in the second quarter. The offense has looked crossed up and confused at times. Now here's Green. He's got 5. Back to Parker. Here's Diaw. Off the left rim and out.
He's been anything but his usual self this quarter. It's actually been ugly to see.
And again, it's Luol Deng. Deng's got 5 points now this quarter. 6 seconds left to play here in the half. Parker with no one around, and he drops that one in. Parker's got it all tied up now for the Spurs. And that'll do it for the first half. Game time. And now we'll send it down to Doris Burke, who's standing by courtside.
Well, I'm with Eric Spoelstra, and obviously, Coach, some great work tonight on the defensive side of the ball. How does the team's defense play into your offense?
It just energizes us. We have an ignitable group, and that's how we play. So we have to continue to stay the course and try to keep them off the 2-point line as best as we can.
Eric, thank you. Kevin, over to you.
All right, Doris, thank you. And we'll be back after halftime for the start of the third quarter. Welcome back, everybody. The start of the second half getting underway. Both teams battling hard through the first half.
Excellent game we've seen from Luol Deng. He's got 10 points, and from long range, he's hit 1 3-pointer.
Yeah, and you'd expect by the end of this game, I'm sure the numbers are going to look even better.
Clark, you think of how much success the Spurs have had, and it's almost as if they can plug anyone in, and they are immediately on the same page and working as a unit.
Well, they make it look easy, but there's a lot of work that goes into that. They evaluate the players they bring in, wanting to fit them into a culture that already exists, and the continuity and consistency you get from the top down. Greg Popovich, Tim Duncan, and you've got those guys in place. Then you throw in Manu Ginobili and Tony Parker. Now you've got a group that you can win with for a long time, and they've done just that.
Down low, it's Duncan and Splitter. Green teams with Leonard on the wings, and it's Parker in at the 1 spot. That's the San Antonio 5. Mick Roberts misses.
Great defense in the paint there, making it tough on the offense.
That's what he brings, a presence. I mean, you saw it on that miss.
Now let's go to Doris Burke. Doris?
Well, gentlemen, Tim Duncan's such a huge part of this Spurs team on and off the court. As Coach Pop put it, he's a consummate pro. He takes great pride in fulfilling his responsibility to his teammates. He feels it very strongly. He sets the tone for the whole team. He's done it from the beginning, and people fall in line. Kevin, what a luxury.
A great player and great leader. Thanks, Doris.
It is with the Spurs, as you said, a matter of anyone wearing their uniform has a complete understanding of what they need to do on offense or defense to win.
The free throw drops for Chalmers.
And you know, with the Spurs, I remember games last year where their stars were out or being rested, and they would still win games because of the strength of their reserves. And they didn't have to make adjustments as they marched through the playoffs. They basically kept on keeping on, doing what they had done all season.
For San Antonio, they have shot just one free throw earlier, 1 for 1 in the game. And San Antonio calls the first timeout of the game.
Timeout Spurs.
And he shows the focus there, nails the technical.
Well, the Spurs clearly an influential organization in the NBA. So many individuals who've worked in